Hi, I'm Julian from Evoflo, and I'm here today in sunny Poundbury, looking at a battery-only solution. So it's a battery system for the home without solar panels. Now, the reason we have gone for a battery-only solution here, because in places like Poundbury, it's quite tricky to get solar panels on the roof. And we do have a lot of customers that have listed buildings as well as thatched homes where a battery-only solution works really, really well. And that's because we use overnight charging to be able to charge the batteries at a very, very cheap rate and then disperse that energy in the house during the day. We installed this system because we did a full analysis of the energy usage in the house for both summer and winter. And we found that we could cover all of the usage in the house by charging the battery overnight on a cheap rate and dispersing it throughout the day. And not going into the peak periods throughout the day. So it's a perfect size system, and it means that they are constantly running on green, off-peak energy. I think that's enough from me. Let's go and speak to the customer and see what they say about working with Evoflo and their new battery system 3 months in.
The process overall, from start to finish, was fast and very efficient, and had a great depth of knowledge running through it, but also no pressure at all. Mm-hmm. And in fact, once we'd spoken on the phone, we arranged a time for you to come round. Came round, looked at the opportunities, looked at where the batteries might go, but also we exchanged emails regarding my energy rates and also bills at the moment, because as you said when we first spoke, is that if this doesn't work for you financially, there's very little point in us kind of carrying on. So after we'd had our initial visit, you then produced a full presentation pack which essentially went through size, type, cost of batteries, but also went very in depth as to the potential savings that could be done, which actually answered every single question that I could possibly have, going through. And then I think I phoned you up and said, yes, can we do it? And I think it was probably about a week later when you came round to install.
It was relatively swift,
It was relatively swift, and including the upgrades to the consumer boards in the house, which were 17, 18 years old, so they need an upgrade anyway, so it was worth it. So you do all of that as well, which was great. And I think the whole thing, including consumer boards, was 2 days. For most people, and including myself at the initial stages, the idea of saving on energy bills was paramount. Mm-hmm. The fact that it comes from sustainable sources, the overnight energy, etc., is a huge plus. For it to work successfully in your own mind, and the investment, it has to obviously make sense, in the financial sense. And in that sense, it's been an absolute dream. So potentially over the last 3 months, before that, we were looking at electricity bills on average of between £250 and £270 a month, including my electric car as well. So, and then we are down to averaging probably about £80 to £85 a month. So the savings have been astronomical. The size of the batteries have meant that we, even on a very, very heavy usage day, we come down to probably about 5%. Yeah. So we've never had a problem where the batteries are drained in the daytime, and we go on to paying standard rate.
So you're always running off
so
peak
we're
energy.
Basically always off peak energy. And I think that when you look at that, you can then see the projection of even if energy prices stay where they are, you can see the projection of how much it then costs you to pay back the battery. And in fact, it's less than what we estimated.
I
think it's been hugely successful all round. I love it. I think it's when people have spoken about batteries, it's always been in conjunction with solar. Whereas when I met you, you were like, no, you can just have them separately, and they do this. And I think that has been that was a great change in mindset of how you view that tech.
Yeah. And it's because it's particularly hard for people that've got listed buildings or restrictions and things like that, where they can't have solar panels, where the battery option with the overnight charging works well. But hopefully you can get some permission for some solar panels in there somewhere, and then that can further on your green journey and take you forward.
Absolutely, because as we spoke about before, the system is already there. You just need to plug some solar panels into it.
Yeah, exactly that.
So yeah, hopefully.
Brilliant. So that was a really good interview with Duncan, and I think we're pretty much done here. So all there is to say really is, if you're looking for EV chargers, battery storage solutions, energy consultation, looking at your home consumption and if you can make savings, solar panels or heat pumps, get in touch. Thanks.